You're not human.
I don't know where I'm from, but I know they're looking for us.
They didn't just come to watch, they came to take. Liz Parker balanced a tray of sodas and alien-themed milkshakes as she weaved through the crowded tables of the Crashdown Cafe. It was peak hours during the annual Crash Festival, and the restaurant buzzed with tourists hoping to catch a piece of Roswell's most famous myth. Her antenna headband kept slipping, and the fake alien eyes on the milkshakes stared up at her like they were in on a joke she didn't get. At table 6, 2 conspiracy theorists in matching "I Believe" t-shirts flagged her down. One of them leaned in with a smirk and asked if her family had always lived in Roswell. Liz nodded, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Yeah, forever," she said. "My grandma used to say she saw the whole thing in '47. That got their attention." They leaned in, eyes wide. "Any stories?" one asked. Liz decided to play along. She pulled a crumpled, obviously fake photo from her apron pocket, a blurry image of what looked like an alien figure crouched in the desert. "She took this the night before the government came in and cleaned everything up," Liz said dramatically. The theorists were ecstatic. She smiled, amused by how easy it was to feed their obsession. From across the room, Maria signaled her with a smirk and jerked her head toward a booth. "Max Evans won't stop staring at you," she whispered when Liz passed by. Liz blushed, barely able to hide the flicker of something behind her eyes. "He's just quiet," she said, shaking it off. "Anyway, I'm with Kyle." But before the conversation could go any further, raised voices cut through the chatter. 2 men at the counter were arguing, loud, aggressive. The tension spiked fast. Liz looked up just in time to see one of them pull a gun. The cafe exploded into chaos. Chairs scraped, people screamed. Maria ducked behind the counter. Liz turned, frozen. Then pain slammed into her stomach. She gasped and dropped to the floor, the tray crashing beside her. Everything slowed. She could hear her own heartbeat in her ears, and then Max was there. "No," Michael hissed, grabbing his arm. "Don't! Maximum! Don't!" But Max pushed past him. Liz's eyes fluttered open as he knelt beside her. He didn't speak. He simply opened her uniform, revealing the blood blooming across her stomach. His hand hovered, then pressed firmly against the wound. In an instant, images flooded his mind, memories from Liz's life. Birthday candles, laughter, heartbreak, and childhood summers. He could feel her, really feel her. A tear slid down his cheek. And then it was gone. The blood, the wound, the pain. Liz gasped, fully awake now. She stared up at Max, speechless. He looked just as shaken. "Say it was ketchup," he muttered quickly, grabbing a bottle and squirting it onto her uniform. "Say a bottle broke, that's all." He stood, backing away as Michael created a distraction by yelling at the cook. Max slipped out the back door. Michael followed. Liz sat up slowly, still in shock, staring at her blood-stained shirt and the mess of red smeared across her stomach. It looked like ketchup, but she knew what she felt. She knew she'd been shot. Sheriff Valente arrived minutes later. The place was still in chaos. The two conspiracy theorists intercepted him. "There's no bullet," one said breathlessly. "We searched the whole area. There's no bullet anywhere." "And this," the other added, holding up the fake alien photo Liz had given them. She said her grandmother took it. Valente barely acknowledged them. He scanned the room, his eyes narrowing when they landed on Liz. "Who were the boys that left in such a hurry?" he asked. "I don't know," Liz said calmly. "Never seen them before. Tourists, maybe." One of the theorists squinted at her. "Felt like you knew them." Liz said nothing. That night, Liz stood in front of her bathroom mirror and lifted her shirt. The skin where Max had touched her was marked by a faint, glowing handprint, an imprint of something not quite human. She pressed her fingers to it and flinched. It wasn't just a scar. It was something more. She shoved her bloody uniform into her book bag and zipped it closed. The next day in biology class, Max walked in late. He avoided her eyes. The teacher handed out instructions for the day's lab. Students were to swab their cheeks, examine their cells under the microscope, and record their findings. Max looked like he wanted to disappear. A few minutes in, he asked for a bathroom pass and left the room. Liz saw her chance. She grabbed the pencil he'd been chewing and ran a sample from it under her microscope. When she focused the lens, her stomach dropped. The cells, if that's what they were, looked nothing like human ones. They pulsed with light and moved in a way she didn't understand. Later, she tracked Max down. "We need to talk," she said. They found an empty room, but Kyle was there. "What's going on?" he asked, suspicious. "We're just studying," Liz said quickly, "for the bio final." Kyle didn't look convinced, but he left. Liz turned to Max, her voice low. "The mark on my stomach. The microscope. What I saw, it wasn't normal." Max looked at her, conflicted, then finally exhaled. "I'm not from around here," he said. Liz stared at him, waiting. "I mean, not from this planet." Silence. Then Liz stepped back, heart pounding. "I should go." "No," Max said, stepping in her way. "Please, if you tell anyone, they'll come for me. My life is in your hands now." And Liz realized that the night before, everything had changed, not just for Max, for her too. Maria was waiting for Liz after school, arms crossed and eyes locked onto her with suspicion. She held up a stained notepad from the Crashdown Cafe, the one Liz had been writing on the night she was shot, or healed. "This isn't ketchup," Maria said, her voice low. "This is blood, Liz. Real blood." Liz stared at the notepad, throat dry. She didn't answer. She couldn't. "You almost died, didn't you?" Maria pressed. "And then Max did something to you." Liz looked away. "I don't know what you're talking about." But she did. And later that night, when she got home, she stood in front of the mirror again and lifted her shirt. The glowing handprint was still faintly there, like some kind of cosmic brand. She couldn't ignore it anymore. The next morning in the hallway, Max passed by without a word. He looked like he hadn't slept at all. Neither had she. Sheriff Valente showed up at school just before lunch. Word spread fast. He was asking questions, lots of them, and he wasn't buying the ketchup story. Worse, Liz found out someone had turned in her book bag with her uniform inside, the one with the bullet hole, the one soaked in her blood. Valenti cornered her between classes, cold and blunt. He showed her a photo of a man found dead, no cause of death except for a strange hand-shaped mark burned into his chest. "This mean anything to you?" he asked. Liz shook her head. "My son Kyle says he saw a mark just like this on your stomach." "He's wrong." Valente's gaze didn't waver. "Show me." Liz hesitated, then slowly lifted her shirt. The mark was gone. Valente's eyes narrowed. It faded on the victim, too. He took a step closer. "What do you know about Max Evans?" Liz swallowed. "Not much. He's in my biology class." He didn't believe her, and she knew it. After school, she found Max in the band room, pacing. He looked like he was ready to bolt. "He's suspicious of you," she said. "He has my uniform, the photos, everything." Max stared at the floor. "We have to leave." "What?" Liz's voice caught. "You're just going to run." "Not just me," he said. "Michael, Isabel, we're all in danger. And it's not just Valente. If he tells the wrong people..." He trailed off. Liz stepped closer. "I need answers." He looked up. "I wasn't born. Not the way you were. I came out of a pod after the crash. We don't know where we're from, or who we are, just that we're not from here." She nodded, barely able to process it. "What else can you do?" "We can manipulate molecules, heal, connect with people." "What do you mean, we?" "Michael and Isabel, they're like me." Liz's heart pounded. "You said something happened when you healed me. Like a connection?" Max hesitated, then nodded. "When I touched you, I saw your memories. I felt what you felt. I think maybe it can work both ways." He reached out, gently cupping her face. Suddenly, her mind was full, not with her own memories, but his. She saw a forest, a cave, a blinding light. She saw Isabel and Max stepping out of pods, their foster parents' shocked faces, and through it all, Liz saw herself. Through his eyes, watching her at school, noticing her laugh, the way he looked at her, full of something deep and unspoken. When it ended, Liz pulled back, overwhelmed. "You've always felt that way." Max nodded. Later that night, Maria cornered Liz again. Her patience had run out. "I know you're hiding something. I saw your face after Valente left. You're scared. What happened to you? What did Max do?" Liz hesitated, then finally said it. "He healed me. I was shot. He fixed it." Maria stared at her, horrified. "He's one of them. An alien." Liz didn't say a word. She didn't have to. At that moment, across town, Max, Michael, and Isabel were sitting in Michael's tiny living room. Tension hung thick. "You told her," Isabel snapped. "Max, what the hell were you thinking?" "She was dying," Max said quietly. Michael shook his head. "And now Valente's watching us. We're exposed." "He won't find anything," Max said. "Liz won't tell." "You don't know that," Isabel snapped. Michael stood. "We should go. Disappear. Before it gets worse." "No," Max said. "We don't even know what we're running from." Michael clenched his jaw. All the others from the crash, they were caught or killed. You want to wait around until that's us? Across town, Kyle noticed something he wasn't meant to. As Liz bent to unlock her front door after their date, her shirt lifted slightly, just enough for him to glimpse the faint outline of a strange mark on her stomach. She caught his stare and quickly pulled her jacket closed, saying nothing. That night, Max showed up outside her house. "I need to explain something," he said. "That connection, it didn't just show me your memories, it linked us. And I think maybe I can show you mine. Really show you." He reached for her again. She didn't stop him. And this time it was more than 150. She felt everything. His fear, his isolation, his love for her. His life unfolded inside her mind, being found in the desert, raised by strangers, hiding everything about who he really was. And through it all, there was her. Always her. When it was over, she looked at him differently. Everything had changed. Again. And yet, somehow, it all made sense. Max, Michael, and Isabel drove down the desert highway in silence, the tension inside the car as thick as the dust outside. Michael was gripping the wheel too tightly, jaw clenched. Isabel stared out the window, arms crossed, while Max sat in the back, replaying Liz's words over and over. She had told him everything about the sheriff, the photo of the dead man with the handprint, the suspicions circling all three of them like vultures. And now they had to face the possibility that they weren't as hidden as they thought. Worse, someone else like them might be out there, and not as careful. "We should have left last night," Michael said. "We're idiots for staying this long." "No," Max argued. "If we leave, it confirms Valente's suspicion. He'll know we're hiding something." Michael glanced at him through the rearview mirror. "We are hiding something." They didn't have a plan. All they had was panic, and that was getting dangerous. Back in Roswell, Maria met Liz behind the crashdown after closing. Her eyes were wild, and she held up the same notepad, this time folded open to a fresh page. "I need the truth, Liz. If you don't tell me I'm going to Valente, I'm serious." Liz looked around, lowered her voice. "You can't. If you tell him, you'll get Max killed. All of them." Maria's expression changed the second she realized Liz wasn't denying it anymore. "Oh my God," she whispered. "It's true." Liz told her everything about the shooting, the healing, the connection, the cells, and the handprint. Maria listened in stunned silence, then shook her head like she couldn't believe what she was hearing, even as she believed every word of it. Later that night, Max, Michael, and Isabel's escape plans came to a screeching halt, literally, when they nearly crashed into Liz and Maria in the middle of the road. Maria screamed as Michael slammed the brakes. "You're not leaving," Liz said, climbing out of the car, heart pounding. "I have a plan." They didn't like it, but they listened. At the crash festival, everything was chaos, music, fireworks, and enough alien costumes to hide a spaceship. Liz handed Kyle a dark hoodie and a pair of reflective sunglasses. "Just meet me at the north side of the fairgrounds wearing this," she said. Kyle was confused, but Liz played it off. "It's a prank, trust me." Meanwhile, Maria and Isabel staged a scene near the Ferris wheel. Maria collapsed with a fake scream, a painted handprint slapped onto her chest. People gathered. Someone called for help. Sheriff Valente was already on edge. Then he saw Max standing nearby, calm, not running, almost like he wanted to be caught. Valente arrested him on the spot. As he was being shoved into the patrol car, a figure was seen running from the scene. Same hoodie, same build, same glasses. But it wasn't Kyle, it was Michael. He tossed the hoodie as soon as he turned a corner and disappeared into the crowd. The plan worked. Mostly. Later, Valente crouched over Maria's body, confused by the lack of injury. He wiped at the handprint. The paint smudged. He stood, furious. He'd been played. Max sat in the interrogation room, silent as Valente tried to break him. "I don't know what your game is, Evans," he growled, "but I'll find out. You're not smarter than me." Max just stared at the wall. Afterward, Max met Liz behind the cafe. He looked tired, hollow. "I wish we could be together," he said quietly, "but it's not safe. Not now." Liz's voice cracked. "Thank you for saving my life." He nodded once and walked away. Meanwhile, Michael pulled Max aside behind the school. "The photo," he said, "of the dead guy. We need to get it. If he had a mark like yours, then maybe he's like us." Max hesitated. "Or worse, what if he killed someone? Then we'll know what we're up against." Maria pulled Liz aside the next day. She didn't look scared anymore. She looked thoughtful. "We don't know anything about them," she said. "You're trusting him, but how do you know we're safe? How do you know he's not dangerous?" Liz didn't answer. She didn't have a good one. The next morning, a substitute teacher introduced herself as Miss Topolsky. She smiled too much, asked too many questions, and when she got to Michael's name on the attendance sheet, her interest sharpened. After class, she went straight to the registrar's office. Liz followed her and accidentally bumped into her, sending papers flying. As they picked them up, Liz caught a glimpse: Michael's school file. That night, Liz visited Michael's house. His foster father was drunk, yelling at the TV. The place reeked of cigarettes and stale beer. "He's after you," she told Michael. "That woman, she's not a teacher. She's something else." Michael didn't look surprised. Later, Valente tried calling the FBI to complain. No one answered. When he left his office in frustration, Michael tried to sneak in, searching for the photo. But he got caught by the deputy and had to bail. He met with Max and Isabel the next day. "I'm getting back in," he said. "We need that photo." Isabel hesitated. "You're pushing too hard. If we make a mistake, we lose everything." Michael looked at her with something between envy and resentment. "Everything? What do I have to lose?" He turned and walked away. Miss Topolsky proved herself more than suspicious during class. She didn't know basic concepts, fumbled her notes, and kept glancing at Max and Michael like she already had answers. Max and Liz decided to spy on her. They waited outside her office, and while they hid, they talked. For a moment, it felt like things were normal, like maybe this mess hadn't swallowed them whole. Then Topolsky arrived, speaking to a man Liz didn't recognize. Michael's name came up. Confirmed. Meanwhile, Michael returned to Valente's office. This time, Isabel and Max created a distraction. Michael didn't find the photo, but he did find something else. A key. The second he touched it, flashes hit him like lightning. A desert. A symbol. a sense of something important. He showed it to Max and Isabel. Nothing happened when they touched it. Later, Max apologized to Michael. "I don't know what your life's like," he said. "I'm sorry." Michael looked away. "It's a good thing. You're gonna need that kind of ignorance when we finally have to leave." "Me? I don't have anything tying me here." The next morning, Topolsky approached Liz in the hallway. "I'm not a teacher," she admitted. "I'm a guidance counselor. I'm here for Michael. He's at risk of dropping out, and I'm concerned." Liz kept her face neutral, but she knew now this wasn't about grades. This was something much bigger, and Michael was at the center of it. Michael stood outside Max and Isabel's house, watching through the window as they sat around the dinner table with their foster parents. Warm light filled the room. Laughter drifted through the glass. It looked like a real life. Safe, solid, ordinary. But Michael knew better. It was all built on a lie, and that lie was starting to crack. He turned and walked away. At school, Miss Topolsky kept up her act, but it was slipping. Her questions got sharper. She asked where Michael was when he skipped class, why he was always in trouble. She wasn't just curious, she was tracking him. Liz told Max. She asked about him in front of the whole class. It wasn't normal. Max nodded slowly, pieces falling into place. Later, he saw Topolsky talking to Valenti outside the school. She wasn't supposed to know him, yet there they were, deep in conversation, watching the building like it was a crime scene. Valenti was losing control. The FBI had raided his office and taken everything connected to the alien cases. Agent Stevens showed him a federal warrant, impersonal and cold. "You're done, Sheriff," Stevens said. "We'll take it from here." Valenti was furious. "You proved me right. The girl was shot. The blood's real. The handprint. We're not here to entertain fairy tales." As Stevens walked out with the files, Valenti stood alone in his office. He looked at the empty shelves, the spot where the photo of the victim once sat, and clenched his fists. Maybe the feds didn't care, but he wasn't letting it go. He'd spent years mocking his father for chasing aliens. Now he wasn't so sure his father was wrong. That night, Max met Liz in a back room of the school. She thought it was for them, to talk, to be together. But Max only wanted one thing, to spy on Topolsky. They sat in silence, hidden behind a wall of old band uniforms, waiting. For a moment, Liz stared at him, the weight of everything between them hanging in the quiet. "You still wish things were different?" she asked. "All the time," he said, "but wishing doesn't make it safe." He looked at her then, eyes soft. "If we could just be two people, just you and me." Liz shook her head. "We never were." Before he could answer, voices approached. Topolsky entered, speaking in low tones to a man in a dark jacket. Michael's name came up again. Max and Liz looked at each other. It was real. She was part of it. Government or something worse. They were being watched. Meanwhile, Michael didn't wait. He saw the agents cleaning out Valenti's office and made his move. Max and Isabel tried to stop him, but he was already inside. He didn't find the photo, but he found something more dangerous. A key. Metallic, strange, and familiar in a way that didn't make sense. Until he touched it. A flash of desert, a symbol in the sand, something buried. something calling. He shoved it in his pocket and ran before the deputy returned. Later, he showed it to Max and Isabel. "You feel anything?" They touched it. Nothing. "It's just me," Michael whispered. Max looked at him. "Maybe it's connected to where we came from. Or who we really are," Michael said. The idea was terrifying and thrilling. The next morning, Miss Topolsky approached Liz again. Mask off now. "I'm here to help Michael. He's in danger of failing, dropping out, worse. He needs someone. You're close to him. Help me help him." Liz didn't flinch. "He doesn't trust you, and neither do I." Across the street, Valenti sat in his patrol car, staring at the school. Everything had changed. His files were gone, his authority stripped. But the truth hadn't changed. The handprint was real. The girl had been shot. The lies were unraveling, and someone, somewhere, was watching. Inside the school, Michael stood in the hallway watching Max and Isabel smile with their foster parents. The key was in his pocket, heavy with meaning. He didn't have warmth like that. He didn't have a house full of light and laughter. But maybe, just maybe, he had something else, a clue to where they really belonged. He turned and walked down the hall, alone, but not afraid. Outside, a black SUV pulled up to the school. A woman in a dark suit stepped out. She had a file in her hand, a government ID clipped to her belt. She walked with purpose, her eyes scanning the students like she was already sorting them into threats and assets. The cover was cracking, and someone was coming through.